Hi, this is Kathy from Kathy's Crochet Closet, and today we're going to be looking at the front post puff stitch, which is a stitch that I used in my Hodag beanie. And I've actually made just a little mock-up of the beginning of the hat. I've got a row or a round here of single crochet. So in the pattern you would have done your ribbing, which is it would all be down here, but I'm just showing you the stitches after the ribbing. So here's our first round of single crochet. Then I did the round in green here of these shell stitches. There's a double crochet on either side of the shell. Gives you kind of a nice zigzag look, and that's when I started to think about the Hodag of my childhood vacations. Then the third round is to fill in those valleys, I guess you would call it. And I'm going to go ahead and finish up the third round before we take a look at that front post puff stitch. So here I'm starting with a single crochet at the center stitch of one of the shells, and I chain 2, and now it's a half double crochet 2 together over the next 2 stitches, and then it's going to be a double crochet 2 together, or 3 together, sorry, over the next 3 stitches. You start by yarning over. It's kind of like doing the first half of a double crochet in 3 stitches in a row here. Here's the third one. Yarn over and pull them all through. And then another half double crochet 2 together. See how that has really filled in that valley. And now a chain 2. And we're ready to join to our first stitch. Come on. There it is. Okay, so now we're ready to start round 4, which is where the first of these front post puff stitches really happens. So you chain 1, and we're actually going to be going into or going around this center double crochet that's 2 rows below. So if you find that shell right below where you are, the center stitch is the one that we're going to be using. So I've got my chain 1, I yarn over, and it starts off just as if you were doing a regular old post stitch. You put your hook behind that double crochet and then back out to the front, yarn over and pull through, but we're going to make sure we pull up kind of high so that our puff stitch has a nice length to it. Then you yarn over again and insert the same way. Now I crochet probably different than you. We all crochet a little differently, but I actually use my left hand to kind of grab that stitch. Makes it easier for me. Do it how you like to do it. Yarn over, and then the same thing a third time. We're pulling through. This time you yarn over, and we're going to go through all of the loops on the hook. And there is our first front post puff stitch of the hat. Some people put a chain at the end of a puff stitch. I usually don't, because the next stitch that I'm using is going to be what closes off that stitch. So our next stitch is the double crochet, and you have to skip 2 stitches before you do it. So I'm going to kind of pull my puff stitch over here so you can see we're skipping these 2 chains that were in round 3. And we're going to go ahead and double crochet into the next stitch. And then shell. So this is just like round 2 basically. Let's see, we need 2 more. And then a double crochet in the next. And now we're ready for another front post puff. So we're skipping the 2 chains, and we're going to go behind this double crochet and draw up a loop, yarn over, insert, yarn over and draw up a loop, yarn over, insert, yarn over and draw up a loop, 1 more yarn over, and then we pull through. And now you can see that we have another front post puff stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and do the next double crochet. And let's take a look. So you can see we've got basically our shell just like in round 2, but now it's got a front post puff stitch on either side. It adds a really nice texture to the Hodag beanie. I hope you enjoyed working on this stitch with me. If you have any questions, you can always reach me at Etsy, Ravelry, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube.